power rank. No, I mean, come on, it's a Wednesday power ranking, dude. It's not good enough to just have things in this world. You have to power rank them accordingly. And so that is what we do on Wednesdays, my friend.
We power rank 1 through 5, top 5 Big 12 men's basketball teams, and then something random, which we'll get to here in a minute. So, Taman, you've got to do the big intro for the power rankings. Walk us through it.
Number 5.
All right, number 5 for me is Texas Tech. Kansas would be number 6 in my Big 12 men's basketball power rankings. Texas Tech still leads the Big 12 in threes per game. They're getting better defensively. They just haven't quite played the schedule in Big 12 play that Kansas has to this point. So even with the win that KU had last night, I considered KU in my top 5, but something with Christian Anderson and JT Toppin. And then Texas Tech is starting to get more from the other guys, kind of their glue guys like Kansas. I've got Texas Tech at number 5.
Yeah, it's funny. It feels like you just made the case for why Kansas should be in the top 5 and not Texas Tech with your comment on the schedule they played in the Big 12 and the best team that Texas Tech's played in the Big 12 so far in Houston. They kind of got boat raced. But I've got Kansas here at 5. Let me let the record show that I sent Anthony Smith, our great producer with Big 12 Studios, a totally different list and then had to change it up based on the outcome from last night's game. You know, it's funny. One of the listeners, great listener of our show, Chris Gardner, DM'd me on Twitter the latest net rankings. And hot off the press, Kansas 18 in the net, Texas Tech 19.
Ooh.
So, yeah, I've got Kansas at number 5. I think, impressive win, beating an undefeated number 2 overall ranked Iowa State team at home like they just did. Certainly the best win of their season, and there's been a bunch of them going on the road and beating NC State. You're getting a win without Darren Peterson at NC State against Tennessee. I've also got Kansas at number 5.
Now, I just want to confirm that Texas Tech got boat raced at Houston. They lost by 4.
Okay, you're right. Sorry. Tried to make it sound a little bit more intense than it was, but it doesn't belie my point that in the latest net rankings, Kansas is 18 and Texas Tech is 19.
Yeah, Kansas is ranked higher. They've got more quality wins at this point.
Number 4.
All right, number 4, this is where my list didn't change a ton from last week or at all, really. I've got BYU at number 4. I think that BYU is underranked when it comes to the AP Top 25. The big 3 of Rob Wright, who might be the best point guard in the conference. Richie Saunders is now playing defense at an elite level. He had a career-high 14 rebounds last time out. And A.J. DeBonsa, if there's one guy in this league that when the game's on the line or you're deep in the shot clock and you need a basket, he is the dude. And I think he's the number 1 dude in this conference. So I've got BYU at number 4. The only thing holding them back, I think at this point, again, is their schedule. And then, how much better can they be defensively? Because they're like watching an NBA team. It's very open and free-flowing. But I think they're underrated on the defensive end of the floor.
Yeah, number 4 for me is going to be Iowa State, fresh off their 20-point loss at Kansas, still 16-1 overall, 3-1 in the Big 12. Number 4 in Ken Palm, also Iowa State in the latest net ranking drops from number 3 to number 7. So pretty substantial drop for Iowa State, but still in that top 10 and still ahead of the team that you had at 4 that I will have actually higher than Iowa State. But still, again, one of the most dominant efficiency teams and then an elite resume as well. So I've got Iowa State checking at number 4, fresh off their loss last night.
Number 3.
Wow, Iowa State at number 4. And, man, I took so much heat for having Iowa State number 3 last week, which is where I have them again. They're still 16-1, still off to their best start in program history. The thing that was weird about last night is they lost the turnover battle, and that's their bread and butter. Like, they forced more turnovers than anybody else in the conference.
Right.
Kansas got anything they wanted offensively. And then KU was the team turning Iowa State over. The veterans just didn't come to play. So I think it's, you noted this earlier, a teachable moment for this Iowa State team. This loss could actually make them better, big picture. They're still built with their defense, and that DNA is still there. They just ran into a buzzsaw last night and looked completely helpless. But I've got Iowa State checking in at number 3.
Number 3 for me is BYU. They are 9 in the latest net ranking, so they stay at the same spot. Iowa State, as we mentioned, drops from 3 to 7 in the latest net rankings. By the way, BYU is 5-1 in quad one games. Iowa State 4-1 in quad one. So it's that one game difference. I'm just kidding. That fills it up for me. Look, I mean, this is a 3-0 team in the Big 12. We'll see if they can continue that unbeaten streak in Big 12 play. I think you know Iowa State and BYU are neck and neck at this point. I think it's obvious who the two best teams are, and you can make the case that, you know, for either of these teams at 3 and 4, and Iowa State and BYU, I just went with the fresher. Iowa State's fresh off this loss. BYU is still undefeated in conference play. We'll see what happens, moving forward. But BYU for me, number 3.
Number 2.
Yeah, after last night, the bottom line is this league is almost in blocks now with Arizona, Houston, Iowa State, BYU, Texas Tech, Kansas, and then that next log jam of teams with Colorado and UCF and maybe Baylor after the way they played last night. I've got Houston at number 2. The difference between this Houston team and last year's, to me, is the way they're blowing people out. To go on the road and beat Baylor by 20 plus, to beat a West Virginia team who had just taken down Kansas by 30 last night was super impressive, even when their best player, Kingston Flemings, who's going to be a top 5 NBA draft pick, he had an off night. He was 2 for 10 from the floor, had 10 points, most of them from the foul line, but Milos Uzan looked like his old self. He hit 5 threes. Houston's won 46 of their last 47 at home. They will not lose at home. I've got Houston number 2.
Yeah, Houston clear number 2 right now. And I'll give you credit, James. This is your same top 4 from last week, and it proved to be right a week later. So you are rarely correct, but in this case, you are 100% correct to have Houston where you did. I was making fun of you last week for having Iowa State, an undefeated team behind Houston, but I think a week later, and it was proven correct. Just a dominant force on defense, and a team that I feel like has still not yet hit his offensive ceiling. So room for growth for a 16-1 team that's 4-0 in Big 12 play and sits 12th in the net, and that feels low for them. They are 4-1 in quad one games and 4-0 in quad two games, so 8-1 in quad one and two. Great start for Houston yet again, and you mentioned it. Their record in Big 12 play is unbelievable.
Number 1.
Houston being number 12 in the net is the most Houston thing ever. That is ridiculous. Yeah, Arizona, number 1, elite offense, national scale. They've checked all the boxes on the road, just destroying teams, even in their own gyms. And then the NBA caliber size and physicality and depth with 8 dudes. You can only start 5, and any of those 8 would start for just about anybody else in the league. They're so talented. Arizona, number 1.
Yeah, Arizona, number 2 in the net, despite being 9-0 in quad one, quad two games, whereas Michigan's now 9-1. But I digress. Maybe it's the 7 games that Arizona's played in quad four, but Arizona is the best team in the country, so clearly the best team in the Big 12, 16-0 overall, 3-0 in the Big 12. They've got a really good game in a rivalry spot tonight, hosting Arizona State, and they're 21.5-point favorites. And look, they are, they play a style that sticks. They defend you, they own the paint, they rebound the basketball well. They are at this point, the most tournament ready championship contender the Big 12 has in a league of at least 4 championship contenders.
Did you say Michigan's number 1 in the net?
Yeah.
Even though they just lost?
Yeah. And even though they're now 9-1 in quad one and quad two, as opposed to Arizona that's 9-0 in quad one and quad two. And Arizona's 5-0 in quad one, Michigan's 4-0.
That makes
And
absolutely
that loss for Michigan was actually a quad two loss.
That makes no sense.
None
No sense.
whatsoever.
It comes down to schedule. Like Ken Palm's strength of schedule rating for Michigan is number 5 in the country, and Arizona's number 47, which I don't understand how a team that has more top 25 wins than anybody else in the country and beat 3 preseason top 5 teams their first 3 games, and Arizona has a strength of schedule as low as it is. It's probably hurt by some of the northern Arizonas or those other lower tiered non-power conference opponents that they played. That's the only thing that I can use to even maybe justify that. But Arizona's the best team in the country, no doubt about it. All right, T-Chains, what are we randomly power ranking today?
So apparently today is National Pastrami Sandwich Day. So give us your top 5 pastrami sandwiches.
Or can we just do top 5 sandwiches? Is it
Yeah,
just
top 5 pastrami sandwiches.
like number
It's-
5, mustard. Number 4, mayo. Number 3,
Yeah,
I'll throw some
like,
barbecue sauce on
Number
mine.
1, pastrami. Number 2, Reuben. All right, that's the list.
I will say this as an East Coast guy, because we live on delis and bodegas and whatnot. I love this power ranking. So I can't wait to see what you guys come up with.
All right. Ari, you want to take the lead on this one?